Well, I lost another game in this whole mix, but we still got the playoffs. I can still do this. Especially with a lot of games this week to predict. It's time, JB.
Of games.
Here we go. Lightning prediction time. So with lots of games, as you said, that's a coincidence because tomorrow we're going to have lots of games coming up with respect to the NCAA playoffs, and we want to run a little promo here of something that is coming up in just less than 24 hours. Here it is.
Yeah.
32 teams still have dreams to reach Stag Bowl 47 in Shenandoah, Texas in 4 weeks. 16 of those dreams will continue this Saturday. But how will you be able to track all 16 games? D3Football.com presents the 2019 Bracket Blitz, where Pat Coleman and Frank Rossi will whip you around the big moments from all the exciting playoff action. Important scores, they'll have them. Exciting endings, they'll have those too. And they'll help put all of the games and scores into the context you'd expect from D3Football.com. So make sure to join the action on the 2019 Bracket Blitz. Saturday, November 23rd, beginning at 11:50 a.m. Eastern Time on D3Football.com and Facebook Live. Again, coming up tomorrow, we'll show you that one more time for the close of this show. Bracket
Pretty snazzy, Frank.
Yeah, it's like our D3 Blitzer show back when, a couple weeks ago. A good practice for us when we do that. So stay tuned for that. Okay, JB, we have too many games here to go long-winded, and so today will truly be lightning time. We're adjusting ourselves. Hold on.
I'm tipping a pick. Maybe we'll see. I'll give you a freebie there, Frank.
There we go. Oh, look at that. We almost look like we're the same height and the same shaped face for once. That's amazing. Yeah. God forbid, right? So let's go here. There it is. And we're going to start with, let's start with bowl games and work ourselves backward to the NCAA games. How's that sound, actually? So we're going to start with...
sounds appropriate.
Well, thank you. I thought so myself. We're going to start with the MAC CC Bowls, Centennial MAC games, as they call them. And Wilkes versus Susquehanna is the first one. Go ahead.
Who's first? I don't even know.
Heads. Tails. I lost again. Go ahead.
All right. I think this is going to be an offensive shootout, but I'm going to give the slight edge to the home team, feeling a little salty about just missing the NCAA playoffs. Wilkes has looked really strong, but they've also struggled in games against teams that have been in the top 25. So I'll give the slight edge to the Riverhawks. Is that what they call themselves now?
I think so.
They were like the Crusaders or something back when we covered them in the Liberty League 10 years ago or whatever it was. I'll take the Riverhawks to a win, a high-scoring shootout, say 45-32.
And we'll also try to identify these games as we go along. They're a little bit better. There we go. I am not a believer in the Centennial Conference this year. I think it's actually an indication that Susquehanna did what they did, that it may be actually a somewhat down year for this conference. And as such, I'm going to say that Wilkes wins this game 31-27 is my score for that one. Next one up is a team that was a quarter or semifinalist last year and almost got to the Stag Bowl. Johns Hopkins versus Stevenson. I will start at Huddle's team is hot, and I can't deny the fact that Stevenson's on a hot streak right now. I believe that the Mustangs will beat the Blue Jays 37. Let's check that. 37-27. Stevenson just has a lot of offensive firepower.
Yeah, I think the Mustangs will proverbial run away with this one. It's probably going to be like a lot of their games this season, where it's like 7-7 at the half, and then the second half will roll around, and the Mustangs will take the win. Say 28-14.
28-14. I'm over here shortening the next one because there's no way Franklin and Marshall would fit on the whole thing. So we're going to go
F&M. There you go.
Versus Mr. Cordia. You start.
The dips. This could be the one game where Misericordia can be hot and cold. Brady Williams, though, whenever you bet against him, he comes back and bites you. Could we really go a clean sweep with the MAC after we've dogged them for so long? Hey, what the heck? Cougars win. Last second touchdown, Brady Williams, 33-31.
This is the one case of a CC team that I'm going to actually pick. I've been picking against Franklin and Marshall all season in terms of believing in them. I think actually they are a better team than their record provides in this case. I wasn't buying the hype early. I began to believe in them a little bit more around midseason. So I'm going to say F&M actually surprises Misericordia in this one. Lower scoring, 24-19 actually is the score I come up with for this one. We have two New England Bowls to talk about. First, WestCon versus WPI. I'll start. WPI just seems to have the firepower, and playing this game at home is big, I think, in the end. I think they're going to get their 10th win for the first time in forever, in probably at least 20 years, or almost 30 years.
Something
probably.
Like that, maybe longer, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so WPI, I think, has this game by the score of high-scoring game, 41-38.
I think the Engineers' defense is going to try and make a statement in this one, and offense will certainly provide the fireworks, but I feel like the Engineers will win at home by a score of 35-21.
Interesting. Dean versus Endicott. You're up.
I think the Gulls are clicking pretty well. Joe Klowski, Offensive Player of the Year in the CCC. I think he's going to have a big day. Endicott wins this one, running away 45-17.
Yeah, I just can't see Dean being able to compete with this team for very long. Endicott wins 56-24 in the end. Let's see. We have a New York Bowl. Let's get out of the way, and that's going to be Hobart at Cortland, actually. And I will say that Brett Segala is not going to want to end his career the way we actually never did end up talking about in the host chat show. He was DQ'd for an accidental brush with an official when they were both running down the field, and he didn't see the official peripherally after arguing about 12 men on the field, which was actually a missed call by the refs. Brett was correct. We have the video of it, and indeed the Ithaca player had fallen down before he got off the field and did not make it off in time by about 2 or 3 steps.
Whoops.
So, yeah, but, again, you can't argue with the ref and you can't rush with them, but it was accidental. The NCAA reversed the DQ, so he will be able to play the entire game. That's good to hear. Having said that, Brett Segala, I think, will end his career at Cortland with a win. He's got a lot of pride, and I will say it's going to be a high-scoring affair, 40-30. Cortland.
All right. Well, Cal Sullivan, who also was disqualified in the Rochester game, that DQ was reversed after review with the NCAA. So the free safety starter for the Statesman will be back there. I don't necessarily see Segala throwing any picks in this game, but I do feel like the Hobart running game is going to take advantage of a Red Dragons defense that's giving up almost 4 yards per rush, and they've given up an average of 2 touchdowns a game. I think Hobart hangs on with their defense in this one to win it 24-20.
ECAC time. Yeah, I knew that was not going to fit. The Chapman Bowl. We'll just call it. We'll name them as we do it here. Westminster versus SUNY Morrisville. Our best reaction video of the week was from SUNY Morrisville. Will Mustangs win this game?
I think so. I think their big offensive line and their quarterback, Flatno and Williams, the running back, are going to have big days offensively, especially at home up there in the cold and snow. The Titans are coming up into the Mohawk Valley, and it's going to be pretty chilly. I'll say the Mustangs win this one 45-28.
Yeah, this is where the home team matters here. I agree with you. Morrisville wins this game 45-21. I think it's going to be a runaway. This is the Bushnell Bowl? Yes, it is. Washington and Jefferson at Ithaca. Huh. All indications are that Joe Germanario will start this game, from what I understand. For those that thought that maybe he'd step aside and let Wahid Nabi have an opportunity to start a game like this, that is not happening, from what I know at least right now, but that could change overnight. We'll see what happens. Ithaca is the stronger team on paper, but I almost feel like they're ready for a hangover after that Cortica Jug game. Literally, figuratively, I don't know. The ones that are over the age of 21.
Right.
W&J has a lot to prove right now because their season was a little bit up and down when you get down to it. Let me give W&J the upset here, or what I would call the upset at least, by the score of 34-30.
Well, I could see that happening, Frank. I do feel like Ithaca at home, though, is tough to beat. So I'm going to stick with the Bombers in this one. I think it's going to be a defensive battle up there on Butterfield in the real grass. Maybe there'll be some frozen ground at this point of the season. Although I think it's supposed to be about 40 degrees, so maybe not that cold this weekend. I'll take the Bombers in a lower scoring affair. Let's say 27-20.
Lina Bowl, RPI versus Grove City. I'm glad you're going first on this one. You go right ahead.
I know, man, because the Wolverines have something special when they play at home. They bring a big crowd. They have a strong belief. They have this powerful offense, and RPI has just been so hot and cold this season. It's man. I'm gonna go. Since I guess I'm in homer mode this weekend, I'll stick with the Liberty League. I just feel like the Liberty is stronger than the Pack, but Grove City winning would not surprise me in the least bit. Just depends on which RPI team shows up, but I'll take the Engineers in this one. I'd say 32-28.
You are not going to box up Wesley Schools in his final game. I'm sorry, I don't care who you are.
Yeah.
He is just such a dynamic force for that team, both on the scoreboard, on the yardage totals, and just in life in general. You can tell they really rally around him. This is going to be an important game for him, as this is his final game, I believe. I don't think there's any redshirt opportunities or anything like that for him as a senior. RPI will make it a game, but if Grove City can beat Morrisville last year at home, and the Grove City is a better team, we feel, this year than they were last year, that I have to go with Grove City here. Test those lights, 49-39 in favor of Grove City. We're going to go for one game that has no East Region connection here, but we wanted to talk about it still, and if I can actually copy and paste it, it'd be awesome. It is Brevard versus Carnegie Mellon. And, this is one of those scenarios where Brevard, as a third-year program, is just so thrilled here. It's almost like Grove City last year, even though they're a 124-year-old program, but it was just kind of one of those, this came out of nowhere moments, and they were able to really step up and play up in that scenario. I think Brevard comes out hot in this game, and just enough to keep Carnegie Mellon at bay. I'm going to pick the Tornadoes to whirl through the Tartans' defense early on here by the score of 27-25.
Wow. Yeah, the Tornadoes, huh? Interesting. Well, yeah, you look at Carnegie Mellon's track record. I mean, they're just coming off that big win over Case Western Reserve. Could be in for a little bit of a post hangover game after that one. So yeah, why not? Let's go with the Tornadoes to sneak by the Tartans. Let's say 24-21, just like the Case Western game.
Okay, let's go with the NCAA games. I think a lot of you are wondering where these were so far, and here we go. SUNY Maritime at number 6 Salisbury. You begin.
Seagulls early and often, top seed in the bracket going against effectively the number 8. Privateers just don't have the the caliber just yet. They'll get there under Coach Rearing, but just not this year. Salisbury wins this one going away. I'll say 65-17.
I think Salisbury will take the foot off the gas at 49 and maybe get one more touchdown. 55, actually, we'll say a missed extra point here, to 10 in favor of Salisbury. I'm going to try to take these in a certain order here. MIT at Muhlenberg. Just think the Mules have too much power, and Nakowski and company are going to. It won't be as distant a game, I don't think, as the previous game we just talked about, but I think this is going to be a pretty tough situation for MIT. 42-14 in favor of Muhlenberg.
Yeah, I mean, Hatanowski's playing at a potentially first or second team All-American kind of level. I think their offense is clicking. Their defense is looking real strong. Even though it's a bit of a Hobart College reunion for Coach Milne and Coach Bubna, I think Coach Milne and the Mules take it going away. I'll say 56-20.
56-20. I need to record these scores that I'm doing here for the simple reason I've got to actually do my quick hits still. So I need to.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Make sure you take notes.
Yeah, so that was Salisbury, then Muhlenberg. Got it. Okay. Hey, let me get these right. Okay, this fits.
We have 5 picks we have 5 picks, by the way, so far that we don't agree on. So there's.
Oh, get me excited. Well, here's one we may not agree on. We'll see. Framingham State versus Wesley. You saw the reaction of Framingham State about being positioned against Wesley in the bracket. They were happy about it. Legitimately happy about it. What do you think?
Wu-Tang happy.
Woo.
Yeah, I mean, I think, I think with Wesley, it's going to come down to this freshman quarterback, Drew Fry, I believe his name is, and how he can, how he handles his first start against a team with such a fast defense, a big defense as Framingham State. But, the NJAC is quite a gauntlet. I just have to give a slight edge to the home team. I think like all of Wesley's games, they're barely going to get by this Rams team. But I think because they're at home, they'll have just enough to sort of push them over the edge. But lower scoring game, 21-17 Wolverines. That's
funny. I've already written down my score, so I will show it to the degree you're going to be able to see it here. But before you even said it, 21-20 is what I put down. I think exactly what you said. It's almost going to feel like the Endicott game, I think. I think Framingham State might be able to go up early on them, but Drew Fry finds his rhythm. It is funny. We have somebody on our page go to In the Huddle and see the playoff preview page, and Jake Knapp is a fan of our page and is obviously some relation to Chip Knapp, the head coach of Wesley. He's telling us, don't you doubt Drew Fry. Yep. And we don't doubt Drew Fry, but the question I had asked was essentially, if he was so good, why is it taking so long to get him into the starting mode this year with kind of mediocrity gripping the quarterback situation, it felt like this season? He said maybe it takes a while to learn the offense. Point taken. I think it's going to take him a little while in the game to really learn the real nuts and bolts of the offense to win the game. And they will eventually, 21-20, as you saw on my poor handwriting. Let's stay down by where Wesley is in that little quadrant there, and go to Del Val, number 9 team in the nation, versus number 21 Bridgewater. Is Del Val's pride going to get them through this game, better ranked, but on the road?
Yeah, this is a tough one, man. I think.
Hold on. I got to go first. I'm going to bail you out.
Okay.
Yeah, seriously, this is not an easy one. I forgot about this. I'm going to pick Del Val. I just think that they're going to play with a chip on their shoulder here. I think Anthony Fontana has gotten better as the season's gone along. He started hot, then kind of went through a little bit of a lull, then it got hot again. And I think this is the time of year you want to have a quarterback that's really hot. And that's what's going to happen here. Fontana and company are able to take on Bridgewater. We did the whole comparison with Stevenson. I don't necessarily buy those comparisons for various reasons. Del Val wins this 27-24. It's going to be a good game.
Yeah, the one thing that gives me a little pause, Frank, the fact that Bridgewater was the one team on our board when we went through the tail of the tape, plus 11 on the turnover margin, and they're the home team. I don't know. Scroggins 25 passing touchdowns, 1 interception. I think Bridgewater is going to pull the upset as the home team in a close game and win it 27-24.
Same score, different team.
Yeah,
You flipped it.
I was too busy looking at data to even listen to what your score was. But
That's normally people aren't even looking at data to necessarily.
My wife would probably say the same thing, like, "Oh, you weren't listening again, James? Yeah, good job."
That's why I love her. Brockport versus Western New England at Western New England. The Western New England couldn't travel 500-mile ball, we'll call this, because they get the home game thanks to the mileages, more or less. You start this one. Good luck to you.
Yeah. This is, once again, where probably old biases come into play, Frank, because, I upstate New York college football guy, even though I was born and raised in New England. I want to see the Golden Bears, pull off the upset for their program. I just feel like Coach Potter is going to run the ball and keep running the ball, and their defense with guys like Alex West is just going to make enough plays to trip up the Golden Bears, and I think Brockport's going to win in a close one. You said you had a score that was 21-20. I think it could come down to literally an extra point or a safety. I'll say 24-21, and maybe a field goal here. Brockport takes it.
I'll tell you, Jameer Soberanis is the person that is really affecting my view of this game. I think having that running game is going to be key if they can make it work against Brockport, and I think it will not necessarily be fully successful compared to other games they've played this season, but I think it's going to be moderately successful enough to open up Al Coleman's ability to throw the ball downfield.
He certainly can do that.
I think the other problem here is the quarterback situation at Brockport because of the injury to Freddie June. And you picked it out. They have not had much success with passing touchdowns this season. How many was it so far for Brockport?
7.
That's in 10 games.
10 games, yeah.
Western New England pulls the upset of sorts despite being the home team. 27-20. Leaves
Nice.
one game. I go first. Unless you want to take the going first off my hands for this one. Case Western Reserve University.
This is your alma mater. I can see the hat behind you. I'll go with this one. This is a game where I think it's going to be a little bit back and forth early on, but ultimately, as I kind of realized in looking at the tail of the tape, Union's defense, underrated, is going to help shut down the Spartans? Yeah, the Spartans' passing attack, come up with a few turnovers. Ike Irabor is going to break a few runs. I think Union pulls away in the second half and wins the game 35-17. There it is.
Who needs the hat behind me when I got the one on my desk?
Hey, doubling down. Nice. There you go.
Hey, thanks to Coach Bierman for this one. And again, fire the cannon.
That's right. Just not at anyone in the end zone with particles that comes out of the thing.
Yeah, or, especially if they have stripes on. Union, I think, is a stronger team on both sides of the ball. I think the problem that Case Western Reserve has is on defense, and so we'll have a bit more higher scoring here overall. Higher scoring compared to what, I guess. I'm looking down my scores. This would be the third highest scoring game out of the batch, according to what I predicted, out of the batch of 6. I'm going to say Union wins this 31-21. Now, JB, this is going to be one of those games I feel like, and I have a feeling the Wesley game with their noon start times that we'll be watching pretty much more than other games in the
maybe for a quick refresher for especially maybe folks who have freshmen on football teams. The NCAA will kick off all of their playoff games at noon. So noon Eastern means that noon Central, where most of the North and the West region teams are is actually at 1 Eastern. And in certain cases, depending on, I guess with Chapman, you got that game kicking off at 3 p.m. Eastern because it's going to be at, in Orange County on the West Coast. So this is a much more spread out kickoff field than we've seen in recent years, mostly because of the Chapman home game. But the bulk of the games, you'll get the 6 sort of East Coast ones starting off, and then the Mountain Unions and the others will start kicking off around 1.
So for those that don't remember how it all works, as I fix my hat here, there we go, looks better now. Just so you know, I haven't forgotten about the last pick that we're going to do kind of off the record here. So I did get your note about this. So don't go anywhere, folks. We got one more big pick to make yet. But here is what's coming up on D3Football.com tomorrow. 32 teams still have dreams to reach Stag Bowl 47 in Shenandoah, Texas in 4 weeks. 16 of those dreams will continue this Saturday. But how will you be able to track all 16 games? D3Football.com presents the 2019 Bracket Blitz, where Pat Coleman and Frank Rossi will whip you around the big moments from all the exciting playoff action. Important scores, they'll have them. Exciting endings, they'll have those too. And they'll help put all of the games and scores into the context you'd expect from D3Football.com. So make sure to join the action on the 2019 Bracket Blitz, Saturday, November 23rd, beginning at 11:50 a.m. Eastern Time on D3Football.com and Facebook Live. Well, there you go. So I did warn everybody about the bonus pick that we have, and let's put some context around this. A house divided. We have this beautiful young lady on the right side wearing this UCLA garb, and we have this interesting-looking character to the left, her right, wearing USC garb. I guess it's time for USC UCLA. Who's the home team here? I've lost track of this year.
The Trojans will be hosting at the LA Coliseum, where they are 4-1 this season, and I have a feeling, Frank, that our Trojans are going to take care of business against UCLA. I don't eat red meat as much as I did in my 20s, but there's a steak dinner on the line for this one. A date night. Someone's going to treat. I think it's going to be my beautiful wife, Jen. Sorry, honey. Don't ruin your life. Go Trojans. Fight on. USC wins 35-21.
I guess I have to check the Pac-12 football standings here before I do this. And let's see here.
USC has won 4 of their last 5. UCLA just got crushed by Utah, although they did play Colorado much better than USC did a couple weeks ago. So the records are pretty similar. I think USC is 7-4. UCLA is around 6-5, something like that. USC has just been real strong at home. We'll see what happens.
We will see what happens. I wish I could call my Utah friend who could give me a little bit of insight here, but he's at work right now out in Utah. So I'm going to have to go this one alone. I just love your wife too much to. This is not an official pick for our numbs, okay? So let's make this clear, okay?
This is just for fun. Yes.
Yes, or a steak dinner, perhaps. UCLA,
UCL.
Well, technically Union is UC, so I've at least got half the name there. UCLA wins this game in an upset, a monumental upset, because I'm looking at these numbers and it doesn't look good. 37-26. How's that for a score? JB, let's talk about the fact this is our 5th show of season 12, episode 12. We name weeks as the main episode number. It's been a busy week. I don't know how we put all this content together, but thank you for all your patience, JB. You had to show up for the wraparounds and all that stuff today. Yeah. Obviously, life came at us too. But we really want to thank the folks at home that have been watching this in great numbers still. We were talking about last night between ourselves. Our numbers may be a little bit down from last year, but that's for a variety of reasons. A couple of special episodes last year. We didn't separate our interview shows as much this season as we have in the past, so numbers were more unified that way. So we are still extremely happy with the following we have. We still need to ask you, though, one more time, to please get folks to like and share our episodes on Facebook. It helps us just get things out there. We have a great Twitter following, but it just helps our numbers more when it's directly on Facebook. People don't like to click the extra click all the time. So if we can get them on Facebook, we have a much better opportunity. And also when we boost our posts and whatnot, they are more prone to see them that way, and their friends are as well. So please, one more time, get people to like us and share us on Facebook so that, not even necessarily this episode. Yesterday's episode is a great example of content that you're not going to find anywhere else. You're not going to find it on D3Football.com, that level of player interviews. It's just the way it is. I'm not dissing them. They just have other things that they want to focus on each week.
Commitments, sure.
Yep. So, please do. That's our last time we're going to kind of get on our knees here and beg for folks to do that for us. But please. JB will be helping out tomorrow because we all want to see how these games go. On one hand, we think that we have a lot of separation in these games, and we're not going to have a lot of close endings across the nation. But there are about 3 or 4 games that I think are clearly going to be close games. And so,
just in the the East region alone, I think Del Val, Bridgewater is going to be a close one. Framingham, Wesley is going to be a close one. Brockport, Western New England is going to be a close one. And even Union, Case Western. There's a little bit of an X factor with Case. I'm not so sure about. I could see Union running away with that one, but at least half of the East region games are really great matchups. And then when you start looking across, the rest of the nation, there's certainly very similar types of scenarios that will play out.
Hardin, Baylor, Redlands could be an interesting game, to say the least. It will be part of our package tomorrow. Linfield Chapman, we'll see the first hour of it probably. We'll probably get off the air at 4 o'clock Eastern time. So we'll get some exposure to that game. And there are a few games throughout on the left side of the brackets, let's say, that will be interesting that, Pat will have a lot more expertise on because we're so intent on following the East. But that's the balance you're going to get tomorrow. Is I'm going to have a lot of things to say about the East teams. He'll have a lot of things to say, perhaps I should say, about the Northwest and maybe some of the South teams as well. We both share a little bit of expertise in the South because of the South being where it is. It's not really the South, except for the Deep South. So tune in.
Yeah. Texas and Pennsylvania.
There will be games to watch and to flip between around that, let's say 1:30 Eastern time situation as the games in the East end, the games in the Central will start to heat up too. So we're going to have about an hour and a half of excitement, but we'll also show you the build-up leading up to it and a lot more. We'll have interviews to the degree we can before games and a whole lot of content. So make sure you tune in to the Bracket Blitz on D3Football.com. But as I was saying, next week, Thanksgiving week, things are going to be a little less active on our end. We will have a host chat show to recap with Crunch Time one more time.
Yep.
We also do our annual Thanksgiving show and talk to a couple people that are maybe out of the loop here in terms of the playoffs and whatnot to talk about people we're thankful for or things we're thankful for each season in this Division III world that we are in. So look forward to that. And folks, again, thanks for joining us. Safe travels to wherever you do go. And if you can't go anywhere, tune in on the D3Football.com Bracket Blitz. JB, talk to you later.